So it's been about 20 minutes and I just finished emptying my truck, but let me be more specific. I just finished emptying the cab of my truck. Found a few tools I forgot about. I didn't forget about them, but they just weren't accessible. But this is the first time I've seen the bed of my truck. Welcome bed of truck. Can haul passengers now. And that's been that full since I got it in October of 21. But I still haven't unloaded this yet. I'm gonna come back and work on that on a second. But just to do a quick walk over here and show you what all I had in my vehicle. Had some towels there, had some pecs, the pecs there behind the seat. The zip ties went down behind the seat, and I had forgotten I had those, so I'm glad to find those again. And I hope to not lose tools with this new, once I get everything organized. So again, I don't remember what's what. I got a heat gun, I got a torque wrench, another torque wrench, sockets. I can't remember what I got this big bad boy for. Capacitors. If you're new and you're starting out, unless you're in some place that's really hot all the time, don't waste the money on buying a bunch of capacitors, because I bought all these capacitors when I first started out and I've had them for about 18 months. Santa Barbara here doesn't usually get over 80 too often. There's not a lot of AC jobs. This nice little battery boost thing here comes in handy. That was buried under my seat. This is all my brass fittings, all my 1/2-inch pecs and connectors and cinch clamps. Right beneath it, like I said, that's going to be all my plumbing tools, my crumpers, my pipe cement, ABS and PVC. Here's my screws, and then underneath that's a rivet set. Over here is another toolbox. I showed you this one already. Just some test tools on the top. These are crowfoot wrenches and drill bits and saws. Oh, and then welcome back, Cottywomple. That's been buried in my truck, and I haven't seen that for a little bit. And this, I'm going to be respectful here. I'm going to call that a Booth box, but Booth, his name skips me. It's William Booth is his son. It's a great thing. Again, I haven't used that because it's been cool here in Santa Barbara, but it was incredibly buried in the back of my truck. And then I just have these various tools and headlight cameras and batteries. There's my multi-tool, gloves, AC. All this stuff was just kind of buried in little compartments that was really inaccessible, that I had to get this stuff out. And again, that's why I'm going to try and put it all in here and make it look pretty. But now I am going to go back and unload the bed and figure out how I want to organize all this. So I did want to share this real quick. I showed all the stuff in the back of my bed. I don't think the video really does it a lot of justice, but there's this little black table under here that I love, and it's right up under here. That's where it fits, and it's out of the way. There's something I could probably use almost every job I go out to, but it's been so buried in there that I've just stopped using it. There's some scissors I've been looking for. That's nice. Here's my socket set. But I think it'll be nice to find a place for this table that I have easy access to, that I can start using it on jobs again. This will likely be the last time I walk up into the front of this truck for a while. The truck has been amazing. Definitely got to keep it. The whole plan would be to make that my primary work truck right here. Use this truck if I'm just going on appointments around town. It's a lot more convenient and comfortable. Not more convenient, it's more comfortable to drive. And eventually, I think I already said this, but if I can get somebody trained up and driving that vehicle, then I can use this vehicle with just a light toolkit, just to come out onto jobs and help out as needed, run out and do estimates and things of that nature. Hopefully why this truck is working 5 to 6 days a week. Now that the bed is empty, it's time to go take a look at all the stuff it takes to kind of run a mobile business. a little bit of loose stuff right there, some loose parts in my NTP buckets, the ladders, and this is everything out of the truck. Truck's completely emptied. Thank you, truck. Now let's see if we can make some magic happen and get all this organized and put away in the new Promaster van. But before we do that, I'll step in here real quick, kind of show you the interior. It's got the little dividing wall, the lockout between the cab and the bed. I don't know what you call this exactly. There it is. Semi-empty. We're gonna fill it up. Whew. Been working at this for a couple hours and I'm a bit tired now, so it's not the final organization I'm gonna have on this, but I will tell you I was able to get everything out of this and have room to spare. It's a little crowded right now. I've got to figure out the ladder situation, but we'll go ahead and step in and show you what I got. I've got my little step stool here. This upfit came with a couple of hooks. That's great. I can hang my jackets up. I put my headlamps here. I'm going to get a couple of, probably another extension cord, have one extra of those. I've got Sikaflex and sealant stuff in here right now. I'm going to relocate that to a shelf over here. I just want to get some good boxes to box that up. Stepping up in here, I'm going to figure out the ladder situation because it's in the way right now. Probably put a roof rack on this down the road and put some lighter ladders up there. And but let's figure that out another day. Coming over here, I've got some extra tool space. I was able to take a couple extra tools that I'd like to have on my truck, took them out of the garage, put them in here. Still have my main go-to bag right here. Got my test equipment right there. There's a little more test equipment there. You see I still have 2 full shelves right here. Those 2 shelves there are pretty empty. But this right here is just a little manual jack I use for refrigerators. I didn't have that. I did have that in my truck before. That black box right there is a trailer pin test kit, and I love my Milwaukee pack out stuff. I was kind of thinking, am I going to get rid of the pack out stuff and put everything in the shelves? But the pack out just does such a great job organizing. It locks together super well. If you guys have bought any of those or looking at DeWalt because they're cheap, whatever the container system is, I would say don't get the DeWalt because they just don't snap that well together. But this side over here is kind of my daily tools. Got a couple of drills, multi-tool. Now my socket set that I don't need that often. It's easily accessible. And this I haven't had in my truck. It's kind of a big bag. It's just a pin nailer. I think it's a 16 gauge. It does 16 gauge, 18 gauge. There's lots of times when I wanted that, when I'm just working on somebody's rig and a piece of molding is falling off and they're like, hey, can you put this back in? And I've not had that pin nailer. So now I can make a little extra money because the pin nailer's there. And over here, I just put some Eternabond. I think that's the Sikaflex version of it. And just some tape and some, I'm tired, I can't even think, the plumber's putty kind of tape. Somebody tell me, I'm tired. I got a couple spare water pumps here. Kind of went overboard. These are for Suburban and Dometic water heaters. I've got quite a few just of the ECOs, the thermal cutoffs, the switches. Oh, I need to probably put the, oh no, that's all plumbing stuff, pressure relief valves. These are just a bunch of hose washers here. More plumbing stuff. Not dinosaur boards, but these are the potted boards for the water heater. I got a deal on those, so I've got about 4 potted water heater boards here. I went crazy ordering sail switches. Again, just you don't need to buy this many. I had like 3 furnaces in a row that sail switches were the cause, and I bought a whole bunch. And this is again stuff that I'm just sitting on that I haven't had a need for, even through all winter. I didn't have any sail switch issues. And right here I've got a few dinosaur refrigerator boards. I've got 3 different kinds there and a couple of heating elements. So, but it usually turns out whatever refrigerator I'm working on, whether Norcold or Dometic, if it's a board that's failed, it's not one of those 3, so I still end up ordering it. And then this, I was able to get this in here. I was happy. This is kind of a shop vac, HEPA filter shop vac. It's really nice to have this in here because sometimes I'm in working on somebody's rig, I make a little bit of a mess, and I just don't like asking them for their vacuum cleaner, but I do. But now I can bring my own in, and it's just a little more professional to have that. And then I kept it with all the pack out. So the next steps, what I'm going to try and do is eventually I might want to convert this into a workbench here. Oh, and here's my little black table right out in the middle of the open that I haven't had access to in a long time. It's there. I got it. I got a 2-ton lift in here. I don't do a lot of underbody work, but this is more lift than I need. Sometimes I'm in the basement of one of these big Class A's and I've got to drop an inverter. So I'm going to bring this with me on my next job and see if I set that in the basement, if I can kind of use that to hold the inverter and let it down slowly instead of me trying to manhandle 50, 60 pounds. Vacuum cleaner, we already discussed that. Next big projects I want to do for this fan. Solar inverter system, so I can run, having hopefully enough juice. I got to figure that out, that I can run some power tools in here. But more importantly, I want to get my chargers for, predominantly switched over to Milwaukee. Sorry, I lost my mind. And Festool, I love Festool, but it's kind of expensive, but they make great products. I do have some Festool. So essentially I want to have some battery stuff in here, battery chargers in this row for my blowers, for all my Milwaukee, and a couple of Festool batteries that I have. I'm going to go take this out for a ride. It's super rattly, even with it empty. Now that I got some metal and plastic on metal, it might be a little bit more noisy, but you know, it's a work truck. It's not going to be anything glamorous. About the farthest I'll go on a service call is about 80 miles. And I charge buku bucks when I do that. So if they want to pay me, I'll go. And if they're going to pay me, then you know what? I'll deal with the rattles and the hour and a half ride out to their location. If you guys have any questions, feel free to go ahead and hit me up. I haven't taken it out yet. Again, I just got this today and have got it loaded up. And tomorrow I'm going to rest, drink some beer, and then I don't know if you saw my video where I was asking questions. I got to go tackle finishing that macerator job, and that's going to suck. But let me know what you guys think. Talk to you soon.